Well, could the Batman Part 2 be hit with another delay? Well, it appears that might actually be happening. Despite the massive success that was The Penguin and the anticipation for the Batman's return, it looks like, well, the film might hit another snag and we could be waiting even longer for Matt Reeves' Batman sequel to come out. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about the source of the report, what this means for fans, and when we might finally see Pattinson suit up again as the Dark Knight. Well, as many of you know, cameras are still expected to roll on Matt Reeves' Batman sequel sometime next year. But now we're getting a whole series of new reports that suggest another production delay might be headed our way. Now, there's been a sort of a worrisome trend in the last year over the Batman 2 and the lack of updates. And although Matt Reeves and others involved in the project have assured fans they're still on track for a 2025 shoot, a new report seems to indicate the production could be hit with a pretty sizable delay. Now, recently, The Hollywood Reporter did a breakdown on the upcoming Christopher Nolan film, and in case you didn't know, Robert Pattinson has joined that cast. Now, in the article talking about the film, THR actually noted, and I quote, "Pattinson is due to return to Batman for Matt Reeves' sequel, and there was hope that it could shoot sometime next year. These hopes remain in place, but nothing is close to being planned." Now, this is concerning to me because productions don't just pick up and start. They take a lot of momentum and a lot of other factors to get themselves moving. If there's nothing planned, this suggests to me if the Batman 2 is going into production in 2025, it will be very, very late. If THR did get word on a possible delay, it did seem sort of weird that they buried it at the bottom of that story. So there is a distinct possibility that we don't need to be concerned. To be fair, Matt Reeves has been pretty darn busy working on The Penguin, so what they might be talking about here is they've only started ironing out the concrete plans for next year's shoot, and nothing is actually finalized. Now, I find that a little weird because a lot of The Penguin has been in the can for quite a long time, and with the whole series already released, it does suggest to me it's been several weeks or months since Reeves has worked on that project, and I would think the priority of the Batman sequel would garner it some momentum. Now, I will say this, it is worth noting that co-writer Mattson Tomlin recently said that cameras are set to roll in 2025, but did not make it clear when exactly this was going to happen. Once again, what's going on with Christopher Nolan's film and the potential to have Pattinson kind of out of the loop, we might actually not get the production kicked off till maybe Q3 or Q4 of 2025, which to me does sort of threaten a release date for the film in 2026. Now, all the plot details are still under wraps, but I do expect pretty much everybody who survived The Penguin to make a return. It's pretty clear Sophia and Selena are going to somehow team up in that film. We have heard that Tommy Elliott, aka Hush, and Dick Grayson could be introduced in this second project. But obviously, Matt Reeves and James Gunn are holding their cards pretty close to the chest, and they're not going to provide any of those details for as long as possible. Honestly, I love the first Batman movie. I know a lot of people weren't too keen on Robert Pattinson taking up the role, but I like this younger version of the character. It really truly was a detective tale, and a lot of pieces were put in place for the upcoming sequel. Hopefully, whatever Matt Reeves has got worked out for us, it does come to fruition next year. I always feel like movies waiting too long to get their sequel out is detrimental. You can kind of look to the success of the first Aquaman film versus the second film. That 4-year delay between those two projects definitely impacted the box office, and I'm pretty sure they've learned that lesson and are trying to avoid that happening again. How this ultimately works out, well, at this point, we're going to have to wait and see. Now, before you take off, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, ring that bell for all the updates, and make sure you get every notification because we do daily Marvel and DC content and we don't want you to miss any news.